Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to our next maths lesson today. Okay, so today is the 8th of February, and our learning objective is to use factor pairs. Can you pause the video while you write today's date and learning objective and underline these? Okay, so we'll start with our review today. So can you review these 3 questions, starting with using the numbers 2, 12 and 24 to complete the factor family, so 2 multiplications and 2 division questions. Question 2, 1 times 18, 2 times 9 and 3 times 6, and then number 3 is double 28. Pause the video while you have a go at these. Okay, so let's start with our factor family. So we know that 2 times 12 equals 24, and therefore we know that 12 times 2 is also equal to 24. And then for our divisions, we start with the largest number, so 24 divided by 12 equals 2, and 24 divided by 2 is equal to 12. And then 1 times 18 equals 18, 2 times 9 equals 18, and 3 times 6, 18, and then double 28. Well, if I double 20, it's 40. If I double 8, it's 16. I add those 2 numbers together, double 8 is 56. Okay, so let's start our lesson by thinking about what is a factor. I want you to pause the video and have a think. What do you think you know about factors already? So a factor is a whole number that multiplies by another number to make a product. Factors are often given as pairs of numbers, and these are called factor pairs. So we know that a factor times a factor equals a product, and we can use arrays to help us find factors. So let's have a look. So here are some counters, 6 counters, arranged in an array. So I've got 2 rows of 3. So 2 rows of 3 counters are equal to 6. So 2 times 3 equals 6. My factors here are 2 and 3, and the product is 6. These arrays, counters, can be arranged slightly differently. So here I've got 3 columns of 2 counters. So 3 columns of 2 are also equal to 6. So 3 times 2 equals 6. 2 and 3 are factors of 6. Are there any more factors of 6? So have a think about these counters here. Could I arrange these counters differently in an array to find any more factors of 6? Here's how I might have arranged these counters. So now you can see that I've got 1 row of 6 or 6 columns of 1. So 1 row of 6 is equal to 6. So 1 times 6 equals 6. So my factors again are 1 and 6, and that makes the product 6. Or 6 columns of 1 are equal to 6. So 6 times 1 equals 6. So again, my factors are 6 and 1, and the product is 6. 1 and 6 are also factors of 6. So the factors now that we have found are 1, 2, 3 and 6. And the factor pairs are 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. We don't need to write these out as 6 times 1 and 3 times 2, as we only write the factors once. Our STEM sentence for today is factor times factor equals product. So say that with me now. Factor times factor equals product. Now look at these arrays. Can you find the factors of 12? Complete the factor pairs for 12 to help you. So the first array here, you can see I've got 12 counters and they're arranged as one row of 12. So 1 times 12 equals 12. That's my first factor pair. And something times 6 equals 12. So have a look at the array and see if you can think about how that calculation would be completed. And something times something also equals 12. So here is another array to help you complete that calculation. Pause the video now and have a go at completing those two calculations to find more factor pairs for 12. So 2 times 6 equals 12. And 3 times 4 equals 12. So now I've found all the factor pairs, I can write down all the factors of 12. I'm going to do this in a systematic way, so starting with 1. So 1 is a factor of 12, 2 is a factor of 12, 3 is a factor of 12, 4 is a factor of 12, 6 is a factor of 12, and 12 is a factor of 12. So you'll notice that all these numbers are multiples of 12. Now we found the factors of 12, I wonder if you could use counters or draw arrays to find all the factors for 24. So how many different arrays can you draw for 24? How many different ways can you arrange counters for 24? If you don't have counters, you could use coins to help you, or anything that you've got in your home that you could use to make an array. So pause the video now and find as many different ways of drawing arrays for 24, and write down the factor pairs for 24 that you find. Okay, so the first factor pair for 24 that you may have drawn is 1 times 24. It's always easiest to start with, if you're looking for a factor pair for 24, start with that number 24 and 1. So 1 and the number, the product, is always a factor. So 1 times 24 equals 24. So the next factor pair that you might have found would be 2 times something equals 24. So you may have arranged your counters or draw an array that looks like this. 2 times 12 equals 24. My next factor pair, I would see if 3 is a factor of 24. So to work out if 3 is a factor of 24, I can see if 24 is in the 3 times table. So I can either count in 3s up to 24 to check. If I know my 3 times table, that will help me. So I know that 3 is a multiple of 24. Okay, so 24 is in the 3 times table. So therefore, 3 times 8 equals 24. So I've got 3 rows for 8 here equals 24. So that's another factor pair for 24. And then finally, I would have looked at 4 now to see if 4 was a factor of 24. So 4 times 6 is also equal to 24. So here's my array that I've drawn. So now I've found my factor pairs for 24. If I looked at the next calculation, 5 times something, if I was looking at these systematically, so I've done 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times something, I know 5 cannot be a factor of 24 because 24 is not in the 5 times tables. So now I've found all my factors of 24. So the factors of 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Well done if you found all of those. If you haven't found all of those, it might be a good idea to write them down now because they might help you on the next slide. So if we know the factor pairs now for 6, 12 and 24, I wonder if this will help us to find the factors of 48. If you double the product, you can double the factors to find the factors. So let's have a look at what that means. So here we've got 6 and we've doubled the product to get 12. So we found the factors of 6, now we found the factors of 12. That means if we double in the product, we can also double the factors to help us find it. So let's have a look. We've got 1 times 6, so we've got 1. If we double 6, we've got 12. And then we can look at 2 times 3. So if we double 3, we've got 6. So 2 times 6 equals 12. And then if we looked at doubling 2 as well, because 2 is a factor. So double 2 is 4. So we've got 3 times 4 equals 12. So by doubling the factors of 6, I can find the factors of 12. And again, if I double the factors of 12, I can find the factors of 24. So here is the factors of 24. So we've got double 12 is 24, double 6 is 12, double 4 is 8, double 3 is 6, and double 2 is 4. So now, using that knowledge, can you double the factors of 24 to find the factors of 48? Pause the video while you have a go at finding the factors of 48. If you need to use counters to help you, you can, or if you need to draw an array to do, you can do that also. Okay, so let's see if you've got these. So I'm still going to write this down in a systematic way, starting with 1 times 48 equals 48. So that's my first factor pair for 48. My next one would be 2 times, and I'm going to double the numbers here to help you. So double 12 is 24, so double 2 times 24 equals 48. 3 times, here I'm going to double this number, so 3 times 8, so double 8 is 16, so 3 times 16 equals 48. And I'm going to do 4 times, I'm going to double this number here, so 4 times 12 equals, and then I also need to double the number here, the number 3, so 6 times last one, I double the number here. Well, actually 6 times, if I double 4 is 8 as well, so 6 times 8, so I've already got that one written down because we don't need to repeat the numbers, we don't need to repeat our factor pairs. So here now you can see that I've got the factors of 48, and you may have drawn arrays to help you to find those. So the factors of 48 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and 48. Use those across there. Those are my factors of 48. So I wonder what other products we could find the factors of using this approach. Well, if we use that knowledge of doubling, we could also double 8 to 48 to find the factors of the next number. So double 48 is 96. So if you want a bit of a challenge now, you could pause the video while you write the factors of 96 by doubling the factors of 48. Okay, so here's an example of a factor bug for 12. Can you complete the factor bug for 36? So here we've got the factor pairs. I've written the factor pairs of 12 to help you. So 1 times 12 equals 12, 2 times 6 equals 12, and 3 times 4 equals 12. So here, can we complete the factor bug for 36? So 1 times something equals 36. So 1 times 36 equals 36. Next, we could think about 2 times something. So I've drawn an array here to help you. So 2 times 18 equals, so 2 is the next factor of 36. So 2 times 18 equals 36. 3 times something equals 36. So 3, I was going to arrange these arrays differently. I can count out how many 3s there are in 36. So I know that there are 10 3s in 30, 2 3s in 6. So 3 times 12 is 36. And then something times 9 equals 36. So I know that 4 times 9 equals 36. And then finally, I've got 6 on my own at the bottom here, and that's because 6 times 6 equals 36, but we only need to write the factor 6 once. So here are all my factors of 36. Your checkpoint question then is, can you complete the factor bug for 16? So what are all the factors of 16? Have a go now at completing the factor bug for 16. Pause the video. Okay, so factor pairs for 16. 1 times 16 equals 16. 2 times 8 equals 16. And the last one was 4 times 4 equals 16. So your factor bug should have looked a bit like this. Okay, so if you got that question right, you can start on step 2. Or if you need a bit more practice looking at the skill of finding the factors of numbers, start on step 1. Here is step 1 today, using some arrays to help you find factors. Step 2 and step 3 today. Here's the digging deeper for a challenge. And step 1 answers. Step 2 answers. Step 3 answers. And the digging deeper answers. Brilliant, Year 4. Well done finding factors of numbers. We'll continue this lesson looking at problem solving tomorrow.